Welcome to the TMYK show. I am your host, Mike, better known as Mo. Here's where you get the truth uncut. Tonight we're going to be dealing with the decision of the Supreme Court on gerrymandering. I did a study, boy. This is really a very interesting topic here. It really started in 1886 by a guy by the name of Elbridge Gerry. And that's why it's called gerrymandering. Gerry. That was his last name. And that's how it got started. But I may talk a little bit more about that. But we're going to be looking at Jesse Waters here on Fox and watch his coverage of what has happened since that decision with the Democratic Party. So as always, if you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, and share. Let's get into this.
The Supreme Court called Democrats racist again. The justices ruled that race and government can't mix. You'd think Democrats would be happy. They hate racism, right? Wrong.
I think it's a huge setback. I mean, the 1965 Voting Rights Act was the most important piece of legislation in United States.
People died for
history. I am devastated by this particular Supreme Court decision, even though we did know this was coming.
The case was about Louisiana's congressional map. They'd redrawn it to create a second black district. The court says can't do that. It's unconstitutional.
That's why they knew it was coming. Sonny Holsters, they hurry and Whoopi knew. Yeah, they knew it was coming because they knew it was illegal by our Constitution. You can't redistrict by color. And that's what they were doing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Let's continue.
No drawing maps based on race. But Democrats say ignoring race is racist.
By the time we got the Voting Rights Act, black people theoretically had a right to vote for 100 years when the 15th Amendment was passed. But through literacy tests, through grandfather clauses, through poll taxes, they effectively disenfranchised black voters. This is just the 21st century version. This is Jim Crow in new clothes.
Disenfranchised? Blacks can still vote. The court just said you can't segregate all the blacks into a single district to get more seats in Congress for Democrats. And shutting whites out of the districts, also kind of racist. So this is the end of racial discrimination in politics, right? No, it is the end of America.
It's the end of an era. This is the bill that John Lewis was beaten almost to death to get passed. This was the crowning achievement of the civil rights era, the crowning achievement of Dr. King's life's work. It's part of why he was murdered. It brought America out of this horrific past that we've been stuck in for 200 plus years of enslavement, 100 years of racist Jim Crow terror, lynchings, no rights, no protection. And yet now the Supreme Court says we're going to turn a blind eye to that.
Gaslighting people. That's all they're doing. It was overturned due to they were segregating. They're using black people to hopefully gain more seats. But we're going to talk about that a little bit too. Because they believe that black people they're monolithic. It's one tune for all. And we should be sick of that.
No one's being enslaved or lynched. So why do Democrats write laws as if they are? Well, because it gives them more power. This ruling could change Congress for decades, could flip up to 20 seats red, seats that only exist because lines were drawn by skin color. But this isn't just about maps. The court ruled that race shouldn't be used in the government, period.
This isn't just food. This is survival.
Survival. In Gaza, a single
The government can't use its power to help one racial group over another because the Constitution is designed to protect individual rights, not group outcomes. The government should treat us as people, not as a white person or a black person, but as a person. The law should be colorblind. The government shouldn't be in the business of fixing inequalities based on race because then it just creates new divisions and new unfairness and new inequalities. The best way to reduce racial discrimination is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. Democrats are panicking because this ruling strikes at the heart of their agenda. And when you can't sort voters by race, you actually have to start persuading them with policies.
They are doing everything they can, it appears, to artificially give Donald Trump a Republican majority in the Congress and in the Senate, which of course he's at risk of losing because his presidency has been a disaster.
And what you see southern states openly talking about doing now is eliminating black representation.
They want to be able to create the kind of Viktor Orban democracy-proof Duma that Russia has, that Venezuela had, that Hungary has. And you do that by getting rid of anyone who can disagree with you.
Do they think voters are racist? The country elected a black president 20 years ago, and no one tried to shoot him. The sitting president's white, and it's been 3 times. We just found out that Democrats have been manufacturing racism. The SPLC was financing the Klan and raising money from it because the race card's all they have. But the Trump Justice Department just exposed it. Ever since the Golden Escalator, the Trump administration, along with the High Court, have been systematically dismantling the corrupt pillars that keep Democrats in power. The deep state, DEI, unchecked immigration, USAID, welfare fraud, censorship, lawfare. The Democrats are running out of moves, and they know it.
And now we're at a point where affirmative action is gone, diversity is gone, equity gone, inclusion gone, racial tolerance gone, the Voting Rights Act largely gone. But guess what, extremists? We're still here.
Between knocking out affirmative action, DEI, the SPLC, big tech censorship, and now racial gerrymandering, the race card's basically illegal. Doesn't work. They know it. We know it. So if they can't play that card anymore, they're just going to rig the game. Listen.
The Democrats win the presidency in both houses of Congress. I think on day one, they should make Puerto Rico, D.C. a state, and they should expand the Supreme Court to 13. Eat our dust.
All right, and we're going to go back. We're going to go back to James Carville and hear his complete statement because I really want you to see something in what he said. But here's something that I want you to understand here. We're going to deal with the Democrats right now. Let's look at DEI. These things that they claim are for black people. Do you know who that really benefited at the end of the day? White women, technically white liberal women, and transgenders. Go do your study. It didn't help blacks. It helped white women and transgender. They talk about racism. Now, when you talk about being a racist now, guess who is benefiting now? It more so benefits illegal immigrants. Look at ICE. Look at ICE trying to take all the illegal immigrants. Whether you've committed a crime, even if just by you crossing the border illegally, being here illegally is a crime. But they tell you that crossing the border isn't a crime. They tell you that. And if you're trying to get them out of here being illegal immigrants, and that's whether they're black or brown or white for that matter, or Asian for that matter, we have them in all colors that are here in America illegally. But they tell you that if you try to remove these illegal immigrants, now you are racist. Wow. Birthrights, the 14th Amendment, that was for black slaves. Now they're trying to convince you that everyone that comes into our country, legal or illegal, have the right to have a baby and that baby become an American citizen. Here we go. We got the Save America Act. As long as I've been living, all I've heard black people say is my vote don't count. My vote don't count. The Save America Act is cleaning up the voter rolls, making sure that everyone goes to the polls that are legal United States citizens. No illegal immigrants should be voting in any of our elections, local or federal. But this is what they want. This is what they want. And the Democrats are standing in the way of this bill being passed when 80+% of America wants this law passed. And they're standing in the way of that law being passed. And what are they using to say we shouldn't pass that law? They're saying that we, as blacks, can't get ID, don't know how to use computers, live in rural areas where we don't have libraries. And now it then went to now married women that changes their name. They're being disenfranchised now. Give me a break. These are things that they're doing to say that the things that the Republicans and Donald Trump are doing are against black people. They use that. They put it on our back to get sympathy and to get the public riled up. And it's all a lie. And it's being revealed. Let's go back over here now and see what this brother said totally, just to show you how they are basically trying to keep things away from America. Check this out. This is Carville, James Carville. You saw a piece of it, but I want you to hear it all the way through. Check this out.
If the Democrats win the presidency in both houses of Congress, I think on day one, they should make Puerto Rico, D.C. a state, and they should expand the Supreme Court to 13. Eat our dust. They've done everything they could. That they held up the 2000 election. They stole it. They've stolen Supreme Court seats. They've gerrymandered everything that you can. And the only way to fight this is don't run on it. Don't talk about it. Just do it.
You heard that. He said, don't talk about it. Just do it. So what he's doing, he's telling the Democrats, don't tell these people what you're going to do. Run on it. Give them a con game. Give them something that they will not question. Give them something that they will not question. Just blow smoke up their butt. But once you get in there, start maneuvering. Start doing things. And this is what they've been doing to black people all this time. Continuing. I got one question for you, black people. What have the Democrats done for you? Please help me out. What have besides give you a black president who seemed like his main concern was what? The transgenders and the gays. So what have you gained from the Democratic Party being black people? We as a country have gained nothing from the Democratic Party, and especially black people. But we should not be looking to the government in order to gain anything for ourselves and our families. We should be hard workers. We should be going out there doing what we know we're able to do in order to sufficiently take care of ourselves and our families and each other. So I got one more to show you here, then I'm going to talk to you just a little bit more. This is the Houston police officer who was fired, a Hispanic. And we're going to look at her and hear her give her little 2 cents of how she feels about black people. Let's check her out.
Oh, we were slaves this entire, I don't give a but like for a reason you guys were slaves. You guys don't know anything better than to steal. Like, let me get a black person on a 911 call tomorrow, especially. You're going to jail.
This morning, Houston police say an officer was relieved of duty after a video surfaced of a woman using racial slurs on social media. HPD confirmed to ABC 13 that they are aware of that video and also they're investigating. ABC 13's Tony Adkins explains what we know.
I got so much off of my chest just by saying out loud.
A message targeted for close friends on Instagram, garnering a much larger audience than intended. We received 3 videos from an ABC 13 viewer showing a woman speaking into the camera saying black people deserved slavery.
Oh, we were slaves this entire. I don't give a like for a reason you guys were slaves. You guys don't know anything better than to steal.
Outside of the slurs, we also viewed video where she explains using her sworn power to retaliate against black people.
Dog, like, let me get a black person on a 911 call tomorrow, especially. You're going to jail.
The video's unintended audience also includes the Houston Police Department. I reached out to the department's public information unit, which confirms they are aware of the video and that it's the subject of an internal affairs investigation.
There you have it. She says, I'm tired of the slavery conversation. And guess what? She's Hispanic. And guess what? Do you think she's the only one that feels that way about black people? Do you all understand what you're doing and how you're looking to other people when you come up with this foolishness that these Democrat politicians keep running down your throat? They keep you there. And people like her, what she said was totally wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying. No, what she said, she needs to be fired, and she got fired, all of that. But I want black people to wake up. And this is not a racial thing, but it's time to stop the foolishness, people. It's time. Things like this should be waking black people up to say enough is enough and stop these crooked Democrats from using you to gain their own wealth. Al Sharpton said here they had a big thing with Kamala Harris and a few other people. I don't remember what the name of it was. They had a big summit. A young guy came and he said, till you cut us a check, you ain't got our vote. And he came on later. He evidently wasn't in the room when the guy spoke. And this was a young guy, looked like he was no more than 35 years old. He said, we're tired. You all been promised us reparations. And guess what he came back and said with his dumb behind? He came back and said, how can you get how can you get anything if you don't put the people in office? How many times have blacks over the years been trying to put blacks in office? How many times have we put blacks in office, locally and federally, that we could have a better day, that we could financially be more enhanced, that we could get reparations? How many times? And he's still singing that same song. When you gonna wake up? He's still singing that same song. How do you think we're gonna get it if you don't put the people in there? What? Blowing smoke. That's why I want to cuss. It's ridiculous. The things that they're doing. They're using all of these things. The gerrymandering was to use you. For what? Not to give you anything, not to gain anything, but it's racist. You cannot use race as a reason for gerrymandering. It normally is used because your state has grown. And you section it off in a way, and especially when your state is grown, it will probably require more seats. And when you cut it up, if you're a Republican state, you're gonna get more Republican seats. If you're a Democratic state, you're gonna get more Democratic seats. And it's just that simple. But it cannot be based and segregated on race. And why do they want to segregate it on race? Check this out. Blacks vote blue no matter who. That's the mindset of the Democratic Party. That's why they're constantly using you, black people. And vote black even if they're whack. That's what they believe about black people. You vote black even if they're whack. You vote blue no matter who. That's what they believe. And they believe that they can gerrymander and section you off, and that's going to get them the votes and the seats that they're looking for. Do you all understand? Do you all understand? Yes, I'm going to cry out to my blacks from time to time, but I'm about all people. I'm not just about blacks. I'm about all people. I'm about this country. I love America. And I cannot sit by and watch groups like these Democrats pimp the country and the people. And that's what they're doing. So if you've enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share. Till next time, as always, I love you. Love on each other and be kind one to another. Peace.